Hi, in this video I'm going to talk about Falun Dafa, where it came from, and why is it being persecuted in China. Falun Gong or Falun Dafa is a spiritual meditation practice from a prehistoric age. Falun Dafa means great way of the Falun. Falun means law wheel. Practitioners cultivate their whole person, mind, body, and soul while cultivating the same qualities which are the bedrock of the universe: truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. In other words, practitioners hold themselves to high moral standards, value traditional culture, live and speak truthfully, value kindness and goodness, practice forbearance or tolerance, and bear hardships. Many people have reached divine heights of spiritual breakthroughs through this practice, and not only in this age, but also when it was originally taught in a civilization long, long ago. In contrast, the Chinese Communist Party is founded on materialism and is fundamentally atheist. It espouses Marxism and other philosophies like Mao Zedong thought as part of its constitution. It views human origins from an evolutionary standpoint and labels the divine as superstitious. The party has been persecuting Falun Gong practitioners since 1999 via malicious systems like forced organ harvesting, labor camps, brainwashing camps, financially destroying them, emotionally ripping their families apart by threatening the practitioners or their families, or paying them off, or coercing them to turn against the practitioner. All of this puts unnecessary burdens and hardships on the shoulders of practitioners. The persecution began in 1999 when the then President Jiang Zemin took the peaceful protests of practitioners who were responding to the detention of a practitioner as a threat to his regime and their power. The other regime leaders at the time were not particularly against Falun Gong, but they followed his orders to wage an all-out eradication or crackdown on Falun Gong practitioners in China. However, his actions were illegal even according to the laws of the Chinese Constitution. They set up an extrajudicial organization called the 610 Office to carry out their operations. This office includes making up lies as propaganda against Falun Gong to discredit and try to scare the Chinese people away from the practice. Internationally, all of this has been suppressed using disinformation campaigns and counterintelligence or soft power techniques to cooperate with foreign media in disguising the horrible facts of the situation. It is clearly in violation of human rights and has been condemned by the US and other democratic countries. The party conducts purges of its own people every 10 years, which nods to its self-destructive tendencies. The C.C.P. is a very recent entity compared to other country government organizations originating in 1949. It threw out the previous government, which had to flee to Taiwan. But the original China has 5,000 years of history. Correction, I shouldn't say they fled to Taiwan, but they were forced out of the mainland, and that's where Taiwan's current government is. So the CCP is a child nation, even in contrast to the founding of the New World called America in the 1700s. Yet the CCP has conveniently destroyed much of China's heritage landmarks while brainwashing its people and causing internal unrest in less than one full century. Look at any of China's failed policies to see how it is at war with its own population. The Great Leap Forward, which caused millions to die of starvation, while being framed as an industrial farming leap forward, or the one-child policy later on. Class struggle coming from Marxism is taught as if it was a way of nature, as if people were fundamentally greedy and violent, and that cycles of revolution are inevitable. This leads to constant paranoia within the state level, where even if you are a high-up official, you are paranoid that you will be purged from the party in a violent fashion if you say something that doesn't align with its doctrines or philosophy. The leer of the government causes unrest through dogmatism, socialism, monarchy, and propaganda. The C.C.P. can be easily compared with George Orwell's novel 1984 or the Red Dragon in the Book of Revelations in the Bible. What are international communities doing to stop the persecution? There have been petitions to raise awareness and get laws passed by local authorities. The Falun Gong Protection Act was passed in the U.S. House recently and is currently slated for the Senate. So it could use some more attention there. It puts sanctions on those who participate in or are involved in the cruel practice of involuntary harvesting organs from the bodies of practitioners who live in China. Art exhibitions based on the art of Falun Dafa practitioners portraying the persecution have been seen around the world. You can see those at shenren.com/news. And Shen is a song and dance company. That's where I first heard about it. This company travels worldwide to share the original 5,000-year history and authentic culture of China. You can read more news about persecution at en.minghui.org or visit faluninfo.net. And feel free to ask me questions if you want to know my take on it.